Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Serendipity Songwriter Showcase. This is our first showcase for 2021.
We took a few months off.
The showcase was sort of like the puzzler on Car Talk. It decided to take an extended break. But we're back, and we are joined this evening by Jan Seides from Austin, Texas, and Chuck Williams from Mattapoisett, Massachusetts. Welcome, Jan and Chuck.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Nice to
Glad
see
to be out here.
And I'm wondering how many times I'm going to trip over my
headphone cord.
my headphone cord. That will happen.
So tonight we'll be featuring all original music, and you'll hear songs from each act. But on the third round, you'll hear new songs that were written for this evening based on a prompt from last show's audience. Yeah. I was going to say last month, but it wasn't last month. It was December.
A lot of months ago.
But at any rate, we'll talk more about that as we get up to the third round.
Yep.
So Faith and I'll kick it off with one of her songs, and then Jan, and then Chuck.
And then we'll just keep going around. So we do song prompts as part of this, and back when we first started doing this, we were doing pretty regularly every month. And we usually took July and August off, and I was excited about taking July off because it meant I didn't have to write a song. And then we got invited to do somebody else's song prompt show. And the prompt we were given was Unwelcome Adventures. So I wrote a happy song. Ready?
Yeah.
Life is a few unwelcome adventures, interspersed with beauty and joy. You control your reactions to everything, yin and yang, this roller coaster called life. Love is a couple of unplanned arguments, jumbled in with caring and joy. Talk to your partner and things go more smoothly. Yin and yang, this roller coaster called life. Peace is a set of negotiations, seeks to overcome hatred and greed. Peace takes legwork, it doesn't just happen. Yin and yang, this roller coaster called life. May life, love and peace enfold you, help you make it through the day. Ride on that roller coaster, do your best, come with May. Hope is a yearning for life's best circumstance, love's contentment and peace for all. Everyone deserves the very best. Yin and yang, this roller coaster. Yin and yang, this roller coaster. Yin and yang, this roller coaster called life. Yeah, good evening, Pat. Good to see you. I've had a couple of folks refer to that as my Muppet song.
You just sort of picture Kermit singing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, me too.
Kermit song. Oh, welcome, Jen. We've
Thank you.
crossed paths a few times online, but I don't think in person yet. I mean, maybe we did at Farm or something.
We probably met at Farm in person, but we met so many people at Farm.
Yes, that's the way Farm is. That's the way all the Folk Alliance functions are.
Yeah. Farm, if anything, is one of the nicer ones in terms of being small enough that you actually meet a bunch of people. But
Yes. And when you see them again, some of them actually remember your name, which I have not been blessed with a memory like that one.
this is what name tags are
It
for.
doesn't get any
Yes.
better, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
I have actually a whole other aspect of that in which I can't remember faces very well either unless I know them
Ah,
really well. So, and it turns out there's a name for that, which means I'm not the only one. I love it.
cryoception. A friend of ours has that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it away, Jan.
So this is a song about needing reassurance, which frankly, this has been a year of needing reassurance. And now things are purporting to get better. And I'm waiting for the better part. And sometimes it seems very far away. So I write myself little pep talks. I've been doing that for years. And this was from a prompt and a challenge, and the prompt was busted. And this is one of those challenges where if you don't turn it in by midnight on Sunday, then you can't turn anything in for 3 weeks, which they refer to as going to jail. And every week I look at the prompt and I think to myself, oh, I'm going to jail this week. And appropriately enough, the prompt this particular week was busted. And I had nothing. So I took the ED off and got this. I keep a bust of Beethoven before me on the piano. I keep a bust of Beethoven to remind me that even in calamity, tomorrow still holds possibility. So I keep a bust of Beethoven, so I'll remember. I keep a bust of Beethoven where I can see. And I keep a bust of Bach before me on the piano. I keep a bust of Bach to remind me that though the task is difficult, it still can yield a fine result. So I keep a bust of Bach. Help me remember, I keep a bust of Bach where I can see. And Chopin could not go home, and Mozart died in poverty. So many of them died so very young, and still they left us so much beauty. So I keep a bust of Brahms before me on the piano. I keep a bust of Brahms to remind me that though your heart is breaking, your art can be your saving grace. So I keep a bust of Brahms to help me remember. I keep a bust of Brahms where I can see. I keep a bust of Beethoven. I keep a bust of Bach. I keep a bust of Brahms where I can see.
Nice.
Thank you.
I especially like that because when I was taking piano lessons as a child, my piano teacher would give me a gift of a different bust of people every year, and I had Brahms, Bach, and Beethoven on the piano.
Oh,
Year.
good. See, yeah.
That one totally hits close to home.
Well, I teach, and those are the busts I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yep. So what are you thinking about, Chuck?
Well, we've all had a long year, so I figured I'd start out with Hard Road as a song. Thunder clouds off to the west are blacker than the night. There's a diner at the next hilltop off the shoulder to the right. Rolling down that hard road, chasing that thin white line. Destiny has marked my way, it's printed on the sign. Coast to coast, your country's big. There's miles to unwind. When I climb into this rift, the hard road's all I'll find. Back and forth across the ways, I'll always be by side. Walking on along the way, you'll be on the ride. Rolling down that hard road, the diesel engine wound. This heavy hauling trucker is Oklahoma bound. Coast to coast, this country's big. There's miles to unwind. When I climb into this rig, the hard road's all I'll find. When that road will set me free, when I run that last mile, the hard road will let me be, and I'll leave her with a smile. Thunderclouds off to the west are blacker than the night. There's a diner at the next hilltop off the shoulder to the right. Rolling down that hard road, chasing that thin white line. Destiny has marked my way, it's printed on a sign. Coast to coast, this country's big. There's miles to unwind. When I climb into this rig, the hard road's all I'll find. There you have it, Hard Road. Thank you, thank you.
All right.
It's great to hear you play. We've known Chuck a lot of years. It goes back at least 15, and
Yeah.
it's one of the people who's like, we would often have late night song circles at a music camp or meet up for shows and stuff, and it's one of the things we miss. Doing these live
Yeah.
in the rounds is better than not playing by a long shot, but we really miss the chance to play together.
Yep. Throw in harmonies.
Yeah, we're known to just spontaneously add harmonies or harmonica or bass or whatever. So helps make the live shows, the in the round live shows, are just a treat because they can be spontaneous.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, no doubt.
But so we thought we'd go towards a little bit darker song, song of longing and of distance.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where do you sleep through the long nights? Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where are you now?
We met in the morning, danced in the evening, pledged to each other the very same day. Now you are gone to fight in the war. Here I sit lonely, waiting in tears.
They marched us for days, for weeks through the hillsides, off to the south with our cannons and guns. Brothers fought brothers, so many were slaughtered, waving the flags of tyrants and fools. Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where do you sleep through the long nights? Where Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where are you, where are you now?
We gather in church, we gather together, we mothers and daughters, orphans of war. Each day we wonder who will return, and will they be changed when they come home?
We sit round the campfire well after sunset, dream of our loved ones so far away. Will you still be there if we return, if we make it back home? Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where do you sleep through the long nights? Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where are you, where are you now?
It's been many years since we were together, far longer than the time we once had. No word has come to tell us what happened. Will you and the others come back someday?
The battle was long and bloody and deadly, like lambs to the slaughter. We were cut down here in the soil, we many lay rested, here for all time to sleep evermore. Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where do you sleep through the long nights? Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where are you, where are you now?
Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where do you sleep through the long nights? Where are you now, my darling, my sweetheart? Where are you, where are you now?
Thank you. So that was a prompt, actually. It's been longer since I've seen you than I knew you, was the prompt.
Whoa.
Took me 3 minutes just to figure out what that meant.
And I came up with a Civil War song. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
That totally
Sometimes
worked.
Yeah, sometimes they're really a challenge to come up with an angle. But yeah, that one, we'll be recording that one for the new album that we're working on. And with any luck, we'll get John Kirk to play some fiddle on that. He already has played on fiddle for one track for us. So if you don't know John Kirk, he's Hudson River Valley multi-instrumentalist, amazing.
And does and gets our music like nobody else. He's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll hear one of our pieces and he'll just pick up the fiddle, and whatever he plays will be the perfect thing. So,
Yeah.
At least
Cool.
as far as we're concerned.
Yeah,
So,
he's a great guy.
all right, Jan. What's up
Okay.
next?
Well, I want to thank you for opening up the dark door. I have this project that it was completed when COVID hit, and it's called Unsung. This is it. It turned into a book besides being a CD. And what it is the stories from the Bible that you didn't get to hear because the person in question didn't get to tell their story. And I have kind of an inflated sense of responsibility, so I decided it was my job to tell those stories. And it ended up being a whole album of stories like that. This was the first of those. As far back as I remember, I was always Rachel's sister. Sometimes I think that started before she was even born. She was lively, she was clever, and everybody loved her. When the men came looking, it was Rachel they looked for, not me. I was Rachel's sister. Jacob saw her fetching water, asked if she was Laban's daughter, and she ran home to let us know to make room for one more. I fell in love that night at dinner. he never saw for watching her. And when the meal was over, it was Rachel he asked for, not me, Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written, but those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. They said Jacob was the trickster, but my father brought me forward on Rachel's wedding day, draped in veils upon his arm. But then Jacob worked the harder, and for Rachel too he bartered. Still, I thought I'd win him when each new son was born to me, Rachel's sister. But every night I'd hear her whisper, give me sons like you gave my sister, and prove that you love me, prove you love me more. So then one night he did it. Little Joseph was his favorite. But Rachel died in childbirth when her second son was born, leaving me, Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written, but those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. Every now and then I wonder, is he still thinking of her, though I'm the one that keeps him warm when the nights are cold? Did she love him as I love him, or did she just love to win? But she is blessed memory, so I will never know. I am only Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written. Those were the lives we were given. Here is the truth, not the one the old men told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister, and it can only be told by Rachel's sister.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I heard you do that in one of the places we were together online, I think.
Yeah, I probably did it at Farm or at the big one.
Yeah, at Folk Alliance. It's been an interesting year with traveling to conferences without leaving home.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
strange.
Difficult for one's family to understand, mind you.
Yeah, we're kind of grateful for the fact that we're it for the family, so we understand, but not everybody does.
Yeah.
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 Just because you can see me doesn't mean I'm here.
Yeah.
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 And for Folk Alliance, it really felt like we were like half here and half somewhere else, especially with, they had this, Chuck, you weren't in, but they had this thing called Bramble, which was a virtual world where you could drive around and run into other people's little avatars. And when you got near somebody, their video showed up and you could talk, and actually there were song circles. There was an interpretive dance one night with the
Yeah.
People dancing with their little icons going
Yeah.
back and forth on the screen.
That's so cool.
it
At 3
really
o'clock in the
it really
morning.
provided some of the randomly meeting people at a conference feel, which was kind of interesting. But and there was people from Tasmania and
Everywhere.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it was amazing.
Poland, and it was like everywhere in between. It was interesting. I mean, it actually kind of worked, despite the. Pat Lamana says that she's also heard you do Rachel's Sister, so it was somewhere else potentially as well.
Yeah.
But-
I have met Pat somewhere.
Yeah, Pat's in the Hudson River Valley and was on our song swap recently, and I believe is doing one of these shows coming up.
Yeah, cool.
I think she might be up next month. All right, well, let's let Chuck take it away, and then we'll get
Okey-dokey.
to our new songs.
Hi, Pat. This song was, she's about 10 or 12 years old now. And it was a prompt from a Ryza Songwriters in the Round back then. I believe it was in 2010. So it's called Lightning in a Bottle. And it's about, impossible stuff. Kind of like, catching lightning in a bottle.
To capture lightning in a bottle, it's like chasing a shooting star. Keep a firm grip on the throttle, wander ever so far. Ride a bullet through the fire, ride a ball of dream. Be a twister spinning higher than chasing the evil queen. To surf a molten lava stream in the glow of a darkened night. Hear a dreaded banshee scream. Feel the sting of a vampire's bite. Take a rocket ride to Mars. Live there for a year. Believe in life beyond the stars. Never show your fear. Lightning in a bottle. It's one thing I've never seen. Can't be caught by anyone. Is it just a dream? To cross the wastelands of mind, for the laser beam. To live out time as clocks unwind. Just once upon a dream. Hear the ocean as it roars, waves crashing endlessly. To be an eagle as it soars above the tallest tree. Lightning in a bottle. It's one thing I've never seen. Can't be caught by anyone. Is it just a dream? Is it just a dream? To know there is but so much time finish what we start. To know we share this life sublime, from birth until we part. So dance along without a care, letting all see you as you are. Capture lightning in a bottle, it's like chasing a shooting star. Lightning in a bottle, it's one thing I've never seen. Can't be caught by anyone. Is it just a dream? Is it just a dream? Is it just a dream?
Yeah.
Thank you. An oldie, golden old.
Yeah, I remember. I think you came out with that one right about the time we met you. So
Oh,
yeah,
There a little bit after, and
yeah.
and it's the title track of an album.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah.
And I put that album out in 2010.
Yep. All right, we are now at the third round. And
Oh, yes.
oh yes, the third round is the round where all four of us present new songs that were written for the occasion of the evening based on a song prompt that our December audience offered up. And the prompt for this round is "My name is George." And all we ask is that people be inspired by that. But you're about to hear probably four very different interpretations of "My name is George." And in this round, Dan and I do not perform as a duo. We have Dan's song and my song. We have not heard each other's songs yet, other than distantly wafting from the far end of the house. But at the end of of this round, we'll talk about how you, our listening audience, can give us some ideas for next month's songwriters. But we'll start off this round with Dan and his song for "My Name is George."
All right. Mi nombre, Jorge. Please can I stay? My life was threatened just yesterday. I mean no harm. Just want to farm, work the fields and earn an honest pay. So we just want to live a simple life in a land without hatred or strife. My wife and kids and me come to the land of the free to plead our case for a better life. The thug said, pack up and run, or else they take away my only son. I had no say. They took my land away, so I came here to find better days. 'Cause we just want to live a simple life in a land without hatred or strife. My wife and kids and me come to the land of the free to plead our case for a better life. We walked here 1,000 miles or more, came to knock on liberty's door, through mountains and deserts to this place, searching for a little peace and grace. We come here because of the mess you made. The U.S. meddled, then walked away. The junta you propped up is killing those of us who work hard and live in peace every day. 'Cause we just want to live a simple life in a land without hatred or strife. My wife and kids and me come to the land of the free to plead our case for a better life. Plead our case for a better life. A better life.
Yeah. If you
Wow.
have your line up.
Oh yes, I have to bring Faith's. So I had this idea from a while ago to do something with immigration, and just kept. I think I wrote about it so much in my notebook that I think I had, when I typed up all the random bits that were in my notebook, I had 3 pages of stuff, and then I had to figure out what of that made the song. But I think I finally got to something.
I'd say you did that one. That's excellent.
All right,
All right.
Faith's turn. I'll pop us all back.
And mine starts out with the same line, just in English.
Yes.
So, all right. I changed the key on myself last night, so hopefully I remember that. All right. My name is George. No one knows, but I feel it in my heart, down deep where it won't show. I face the world it cannot see. Even those who love me, they look but don't see me. They see Emily. My name is George. I must not tell, especially my parents. My life would go to hell. I'd be disowned, tossed out the door. So I keep pretending, knowing deep within my core, I'm not Emily. Being female never felt right to me. That's not who I am. Maybe when I leave for college, maybe then I'll be free to be me. His name is George. We didn't know. He wrote it in the note he left that said he had to go. We almost lost our child today. We're grateful to be able to love him either way, as George or Emily. Yes, we love him either way, as George or Emily.
Nicely done.
Yes.
And
Those
especially
are-
where it was just trans visibility day, tail end of March, I think it was, and where the governor of Arkansas actually vetoed a proposed law that would eliminate
Gender confirmation.
not gender but
Surgery,
the hormone blockers for children who are going through what George is going through, and he actually said, you know, this is a step too far, and they overrode his veto. So that's for all the young Georges and Emilys out there who have to live with that now.
Jan.
We'll be better one day. I know we will. Those were 2 lovely songs and so topical, and I'm afraid this one is almost frivolous by comparison. Because when I found out what the prompt was, my first thought was, well, who do I know that's named George? You know? And there was someone, oddly enough, when I was a kid, around 9, 10, 11, I was seriously addicted to Nancy Drew books. And there was a character, she was a fairly important one. Her real name was Georgia, but if you asked her, here's what she would say. My name is George. My best friend is Nancy. We solve mysteries with my cousin Bess. There are books about it by Carolyn Keene. In the River Heights scene, south of Chicago, in the great Midwest. Secret of the old clock. That was our first case. Then the hidden staircase and the lilac inn. There was a clue in a diary and a bungalow mystery. Twisted candles and a shadow ranch and a larkspur lane. My name is George. My best friend is Nancy, and we solve mysteries with my cousin Bess. There are books about it by Carolyn Keene. And the River Heights scene, south of Chicago in the great Midwest. We all pile into a little blue roadster. Nancy's daddy, Carson Drew, foots the bill. And boyfriend Ned takes care of the details. 'Cause he loves Nancy and he always will. My name is George. My best friend is Nancy, and we solve mysteries with my cousin Bess, and there are books about it by the great Carolyn Keene. In the River Heights scene, south of Chicago in the great Midwest. Once in a while, Nancy gets into trouble. Some bad guys have us all worried. But each time, Bess and Ned were there on the double. And of course, Mr. Drew, the world-famous attorney, and me, my name is George. My best friend is Nancy, and we solve mysteries with my cousin Bess. There are books about us by Miss Carolyn Keene, set in the River Heights scene, south of Chicago in the great Midwest. In the River Heights scene, south of Chicago in the great Midwest.
Nice.
I think every little girl our age probably read every last one of those books. Pat was chiming in to say she read them all as well. And oh my God, that brings back so many wonderful memories.
It
That's
did for me too. I had to go look some stuff up, but yeah. Like, what was George's real name?
She was always George. Yeah.
She was always George, but her mother called her Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'd forgotten about Bess. That's right. Yeah.
All right, let's see what Chuck came up with. And he's got
Yeah,
his
this was
harmonica right
this was tough to get around. I had a couple of different ideas, but I let them fall off and went with something more topical. Curious George just didn't seem to set in right with me for it, especially in these trying times. I am a man of color, from my mother. My name is George. One day in May, the year of 2020, in this land of plenty, I lost my life. Just wasn't right. The way that this all happened, it surely is taken. My life slipped away. My name is George. I am a man of color, of my mother. My name is George. Out on the street, I said I can't breathe. He gave no reprieve. I was slipping away. 9 minutes passed. I thought this must be my time. I did no crime. What about my family? My name is George. I am a man of color, calling out all others. Say my name. Say my name. Say my name.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that at least one of us went in that direction, and especially where it is completely timely.
Yeah.
With the court case.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
did think about it, but,
yeah.
I didn't want to go there. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
I felt the same way, but all of a sudden, boom! It was one of those news things that pops in, and then there it was on paper.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just one more thing that made a tough year that much worse.
Yeah.
So
Really.
Anyway,
sadly, it just happens over and over and over. But
I know, and now we've got Dante Wright, and a police officer who can't tell the difference between her gun and her taser
after 26 years.
after 26 years on the force and teaching these things. So anyway, thank you both, and I think we've got, to be honest, I think we've got 4 keepers out of this one.
Yeah,
This was good.
it was a very good round, and in all different directions. The
Yeah.
Nancy Drew and George thing was fabulous.
Yes, and
Yeah, that was cool.
Thank you for having something lighthearted.
Yeah.
we needed something a little like
We needed balance,
kind of
no doubt.
Yeah.
Lighthearted,
Our
not frivolous, right?
Right.
No, not to any little girl who grew up of a certain age. Absolutely not frivolous at all. And to be honest, the first thing that went through my mind, the very first stuffed animal I ever remember owning was a stuffed cat with velvet ears and paws with sparkles on them named George. And if I could have figured out a way to put him into a song, I probably would have done that. But I couldn't figure out. So
Well,
There is
came out
still
the first
time.
grade. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
It is.
nothing says I have to stop at one song. But,
yeah. No, there've been months when I've had more than a few.
oh God, there was one month where, back when we were playing them for each other the night before, he came and played me 7 different songs. Not all of which were,
Whoa.
promptable, but they were what he'd written in the last,
In the last month,
Month.
and and some of them got finished, and some of them are still in my stack of
and there's
things to work on someday.
there's
Yeah.
one that would actually be quite timely for today's day and age that is still sitting in the stack.
Yeah.
So
That was
Yeah.
one of the high points of Folk Alliance. Was what's her name? Margaret Atwood
oh my
opening
God.
her drawer to show us the unfinished stuff inside.
Yes.
Margaret Atwood has one. Mine is just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've thought for years about Woody Guthrie left behind stacks and stacks of lyrics, and they've been handing them out
That
to
Nora's
people
been giving out to other people to put
music to.
So.
But and I thought it's like how could he write that much and not get around to finishing them? And I have
Now we
started looking at
understand.
the stack of stuff that I have in my computer and several folders of paper that I print out. Oh, yeah, it kind of happens.
yeah,
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
But it's okay because Margaret Atwood has one too.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it seems to be a common thread. So,
Yeah.
oh,
So anyway, for those of you who are listening, if you would like to have some input into what next month's songwriters are about, what we would ask is that right here in the comments,
on whichever platform
on
you're
whatever platform you're on, Facebook, YouTube, doesn't matter, we would ask that you write the word prompt, PROMPT, colon, and whatever word or phrase you would like next month's songwriters to write a song about. And next month we have...
We have Pat LaManna, and Pat, you are allowed to put a prompt in
Yes,
for
feel free. We've had people do that.
for it because you're an audience member tonight, and Rob Siegel, who is a Boston area
Oh, nice.
singer-songwriter and hack mechanic, very prolific writer of books as well as songs,
Yes.
and
That's going to be a fun combination.
it's going to be very interesting.
Pat and Rob. I'm looking forward to that.
So
yes, and the way we do this, if we were doing this in person, we would pass a little basket around and
Have
have
you
you
fill
write
out
it out
slips of
in
paper.
little slips of paper and put it in, and we would draw out the 3 slips of paper and we would have the audience vote on it. But where we're doing this online and where there are people who are still listening after this show is done live, what we ask is that sometime between now and
Sunday.
afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, just put a prompt in. If you're listening to this weekend, you're still good. And that's Sunday if today's the 14th, 15th, Sunday the 18th. I can sit and do the math. And then what we do is we go through and we gather up all of the ones that show up in the prompt, in the comments, and we number them, and then we run them through a random number generator.
Or something along those
Or something
lines.
and actually last month we had one prompt, so it was very easy to choose. So please feel free, put in, and we ask that you just do one prompt. If you've got 20 ideas, great, come back for the next 20 shows.
It's all good.
Exactly. So that's how we do that, is just the word prompt, colon, and whatever your idea is in the comments here on Facebook or YouTube. And we will collect them and see what we have.
All right.
Okay.
So
We got
let's
Rick
get on.
Polari out there in the
We
audience.
do.
Rick-
Good
Rick-
evening, Rick.
Rick Polari is up in Pittsburgh, Vermont.
Up in Vermont.
Yep.
And is a good friend, phenomenal banjo player, and plays Polish bagpipes and
which we
guitar.
finally heard, by the way.
We did a show together, and we got to hear the Polish bagpipes.
They are similar to, but not quite the same as the Scottish ones. They're absolutely fascinating.
Rick's also got a great book out that talks about his travels and in the midst of it, and it's he's just done another trip to Poland, and where I am in the book. So anyway, so we'll kick off another round here, and so this one is from a prompt. The prompt was one's earliest memory, which caused me to write about something that I wanted to write about pretty much my whole life. It was a time of turmoil in the country, riots in the streets, an election year, a war was raging, and the space race. The year was 1968. These are my earliest memories.
Cue you in.
E-ish, probably.
Nope. You're
whatever.
in C, actually. But
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Wrong
Ready?
song. Okay.
Small town life, the Berkshire Hills, the world outside my windowsill. A quiet life, young and carefree, just school and books, afternoon TV. All that changed in '68. World got smaller, filled with hate. Shots rang out in Memphis town. Martin Luther King, dead on the ground. Heard my mother moan, my daddy weep. Me, I cried myself to sleep. Could there ever be peace again? The world outside came crashing in. Big signs on each front lawn. The battle lines were clearly drawn. Shots rang out, West Coast Hotel. Bobby Kennedy was dead as well. The TV, it was black and white. Watched it from afternoon till night. Saturdays we'd watch cartoons, but there were body counts on the evening news. It was long ago, but like yesterday. Innocence was swept away. The images seared in my brain. A world of fear and pain. December 1968. Apollo 8 blasted into space. George Lowe sent him round the moon. Earthrise image filled the room. My parents cried, I did too. Finally, some happy news. A year of pain, a year of hate. Apollo 8 saved 68. It was Christmas Day, and a telegram from a stranger read, Apollo 8 saved 68. True stories.
Nicely done.
I know Chuck's
Yeah.
heard that one before,
Yeah.
but and that one, as I was writing the lyrics, it's like the music just needed to have a different edge to it. So the guitar has, get it over here, so there's a partial capo at the 5th fret and a mandolin capo on the 3rd to just catch the low E string. And the top 2 strings ring open.
And I lost half of my mandolin capos when he wrote that song because he took them and stuck them in his guitar cases.
And I had to go buy a whole lot more capos.
That's right.
So we mentioned George Lowe in the song. George Lowe was responsible for the U.S. going to the moon. There's a new biography about him, and it was his idea that in the 1957-58 time frame, and after the Bay of Pigs, Kennedy needed something big to unify the country. And word got to him about this idea. Well, they were already playing around with rockets, and this idea of going to the moon came from George. And he ran Gemini, and he took over Apollo after the Apollo 1 fire. And saw that all the way through Apollo 11, and then was working on the space shuttle program. And later he was president of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, which is where the two of us went to college and met.
Yep.
And we got to know George.
Cool.
Sadly, he died at age 53 after doing all of that stuff.
Oh my God.
Everybody at Mission Control was in their 20s during Apollo.
Wow.
The Apollo mission control was like looking at the SpaceX mission control today.
Yeah.
Similar ages.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
So Jen, over to you.
Okay. So this was also from a prompt, but the prompt was find a newspaper story and tell us about it. And the only paper we get is on Sunday, because if there's something I need to know, somehow it finds its way to me, so I don't see any point in paying for the paper, which will probably get there after I already know about it. So I went online to our local paper, the Austin Statesman, and Austin right now has a fairly serious problem. I have a friend who's a real estate agent, and what she told me was there are, in the whole city of Austin, there are currently 225 available single-family houses. And because of the influx of population that we have gotten for the last couple of decades, longer actually, the demand is about 1,000 a week. So needless to say, the developers are out there trying to buy up any land they can. And whether or not it's going to be good for the environment is an open question and has a lot to do with how active people are willing to get. Fortunately, we're fairly feisty in Austin. In fact, we have a reputation. So it's not been held at bay entirely, but it's not as bad as it could be. And this is one of the stories that, oh, well, the person who was in this video was telling the story. I was taking notes, and then I realized he was pretty much writing my song for me, so. My daddy really loved this land. I'd feel I was betraying him if I were the one to let it go. He used to say if you had pliers and a roll of baling wire, well, you could fix most anything that broke. Family history's big for me. Great-great-granddad, born in slavery when he was freed. He came to Texas, bought this land with saved up gold. His descendants each have owned it. I don't propose to be the one to lose it. So it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses, so I understand. But Papa Connor's land is not for sale. I'm leaving it to my granddaughter. I want to do that for her, 'cause she lost her dad when she was only 5. I do believe that he is watching and happy with these things I'm doing, like he'd do if he were alive. So No, it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. That I understand. But Papa Connor's land is not for sale. She can be anything she wants to be. Write her own future. She will keep the land and story going for those who come after. And it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. That I understand. Papa Connor's land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. Yes, I understand. But Papa Connor's land is not for sale. My daddy really loved this land. I'd feel I was betraying him if I were the one to let it go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great song. Good story.
Thank you.
Some power in that one.
Yeah.
One can only hope.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen situations. I saw one in New York where, the guy wouldn't sell his little house, and so they just built skyscrapers next to it on either side.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're building the weirdest stuff in New York right now. My mom just sent me a
God.
picture of a building that tapers up, and it's like, if there's actually a room in the top, it's maybe 6 feet wide, front to back. I mean, it's like it's the whole building width, but like it goes down to nothing. And there's another one that looks like Jenga. Stuff sticks out in every direction.
Oh, we've got one of those in Austin, too. Weirdest thing I ever saw. I don't want that office.
Not over nothing.
Amen to that. Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
We have friends in north of Austin, up in Liberty Hill, and there's a possibility that the land that they have had for generations may get a highway through it. So,
Yeah.
It's too bad.
yeah, it's a beautiful place. We've been there. So.
Yeah.
But
Chuck.
Tis I. This song is called Backyard Oak Tree. Now, we were talking before we got live about where we live. I live in Mattapoisett, Massachusetts, in a house that is 197 years old. It'll be 200 years old in 2024. It was built in 1824. And behind this house is an oak tree, and that tree has a lot of stories to tell. But so does the house. The house has ghosts. We have spirits right here in this home. One time I came home from visiting friends one night, and I walk in the house, and there's this spirit standing up against the wall. He was tall, thin, had dark hair, little wispy beard, black coat, black pants, and he was carrying a stovepipe hat. And sure enough, I thought it was Abe Lincoln. Had to be. After I thought about it for quite some time, I thought I might be crazy. But 2 years later, we had a contractor come in and do some painting. And he come flying out of the house one afternoon, and he says, "You won't believe what I saw." And he gave me the very same story right down to the stovepipe hat. So he's seen them. And in fact, we just had a recent contractor that saw another ghost, not the one that we've seen in the past. But so that there are spirits. They're good people, good spirits, so to speak. But the song, like I say, is about the oak tree. It's not about Abe Lincoln. But just like Abe Lincoln came into the house, he'll make a cameo appearance in the song. Grew up on a farm at the crest of a hill, behind a house that's standing still. Stretched out to the east and to the west, reached to the sun so I look my best. On a state passed through in late 48, rode a train and spoke across the state. If it were sunny, he'd need my shade. If I were a stump, a speech would be made. I've seen forests and farms, rambling at times, seen fields and farmers fighting for dimes, seen hurricanes come and hurricanes go. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow. 100 years later, a storm came undone, took lives and houses on waves that run. While many of friends fell to the ground, wicked winds blew a terrible sound. Saw children play in big piles of leaves, became parents, had family, and rolled up their sleeves. Got their hands on the plow day and night, poor working families just doing what's right. I've seen forests and farms rambling at times, seen fields and farmers fighting for dimes, seen people come and people go. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow. Here I am, standing tall, head and shoulders above all, wearing green in the summer, gold and brown in the fall. I'm standing here, slowly falling apart. I'm in the same place that I did start. Drop my acorns before I drop all my leaves. I'm a centuries old backyard oak tree. I've seen forests and farms rambling at times, seen fields and farmers fighting for dimes, seen seasons come and seasons go. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow.
Love that.
Thank you.
And so,
Now, interestingly enough, there is a little bit more about Abe Lincoln. Abe Lincoln came in the state of Massachusetts in 1848, and he did stump speeches for the Whig Party throughout the state. And one of the places that he did a speech at was the Quaker Meeting House on Williams Street in New Bedford, 6 miles away from home, from our home. So that's a little sidetrack of that song.
So who knows?
Yes.
Abe Lincoln may have slept there.
yeah.
You never know.
So we were trying to decide what to follow that with, because we like to try to, oftentimes,
Yeah.
try to find something that hooks in. And Faith was thinking about a song that I wrote for my brother that's about a big tree in front of the house where we grew up in the Berkshires. But then I was thinking about a different song that was a little too dark.
And you know, I'm looking at the clock and thinking this is probably going to be our last round.
And so I said, well, we could do something more upbeat. So why don't we do Ramblin' Round? And then you had Ramblin' showed up in the lyrics after we had chosen the song. It's like, okay, that's perfect. Clearly, that's
that
the
works.
place to go.
Yep.
So this one's on our latest album, and it is just a fun sing along. And someday we'll actually have a live audience who can sing along to it. We put the album out at the beginning of 2020, and it went to number 7 on the folk charts. And the whole tour we had lined up to take it, promote it, all fizzled because of COVID. So, at any rate, we'll get out there eventually with it, and hopefully have lots of people singing along to this song. So everybody, please sing at home.
All right.
All right.
Hopefully, yeah, I think I'm far enough away from you
Yep.
not to do damage here.
And I got the image just so you're just visible with the dulcimer.
Oh yeah, I should show that off.
Yep.
It's my Appalachian mountain dulcimer.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Ramblin' round, ramblin' round,
Rambling round,
ramblin' round this old world, ramblin' round,
rambling round,
ramblin' round,
rambling round,
ramblin' round this old world. Been to the east, been to the west, been to the north, been to the south, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Been to the mountains, been to the plains, been to the desert, seen floods and rain, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Been to the ocean and dove right in, lived in a city, never will again, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Been singing songs and making friends, been telling stories now and then, been rambling this whole world round, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world. Rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, rambling round, rambling round, rambling round this old world, been rambling round this old world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of these days, we will again be rambling around this old world.
Yep. That was pretty much
Soon.
2019. We went all the way coast to coast in 2019. So
Yeah.
That's
someday
cool.
we will again.
Yep. Now we just have to get through. They're forecasting anywhere from a dusting to 6 inches of snow Thursday night. So
And Friday morning we have to drive to Newport, New Hampshire, which is not very far, but
it's like
we're
35, 40 minutes. So
because we're getting our second shots, so
Ah,
we definitely want to get there.
do it carefully.
Oh,
oh,
absolutely.
believe me, and we have not taken the snow tires off of the car yet. So
So we'll be driving through the snow.
yeah.
All right.
That's how you know you're truly a New Hampshire resident. Not taking your tires off until April or May.
May.
Yeah.
May.
Usually May 1st. Well, if you got studded tires in Massachusetts, I think May 1st is when you have to get the studded tires off the
Yeah.
cars because it starts beating up the roads.
Yeah. And Dan was actually talking about taking them off a couple of weeks ago, and I said, nee,
Yeah.
maybe
Well, let's
not.
wait a little longer. Yeah.
Now I'm glad. Yeah.
All right.
Jan.
Jan.
Okay. So did I hear you say this was our last round?
Yes. If you heard
Okay,
me, but
I'm
yes,
going to
it
be-
is. It is the
Okay.
last round.
I'm going to behave as if that's the case. So, We'll just keep that right there, but I don't really need it. This is my, I'm a longtime feminist, and this is sort of a gentle representation of that. But it is really the way I think of feminism and my particular stance on it. You played the prince and also the dragon. A captive princess was the role you gave to me. I didn't really need to be rescued, but I liked your company. I was a queen in my own private tower, but it only had one story before you came. I didn't plan for a knight in shining armor to come and save me. Take my hand. Let's not be prisoners in some fantasy. We can walk this land, you and me, together, equally. I understand you grew up believing your role was to slay the enemy, but I also have some skill with the sword, so I'll stand by you. You stand by me and take my hand. Let's not be prisoners in some fantasy. We can walk this land, you and me, together, equally. Yes, let's be lovers. Let's make another reality. Take my hand. We won't be prisoners in some fantasy. We will walk this land, you and me, together, equally.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I really like that.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And by the way, welcome this evening, Kevin, and thank you. We have at least one prompt for next month, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you, Kevin.
and
Yeah.
others, please add. So.
Yeah, feel free.
All right.
Chuck, take us home.
You get the last song.
Okie dokie. This song is called "Take Us to the Other Side," and it's about climate change. Where are the blue skies we used to know? Lost in the yellow haze when the wind don't blow. Crystal clear waterways used to flow down with the Indian and buffalo. In purple mountains, the air is clear. Down in the valley, fields of fear. Like atoms and apples, change day and night. Forsaken garden, something ain't right. Get on your high horse and ride, ride, ride. Take us to the other side. Tundra's melting, glaciers flow. When the water rises, where will you go? Polar bear starving, fall from grace. Mother Earth has changed her face. Get on your high horse and ride, ride, ride. Take us to the other side. New generations see what we have seen. Can we keep this planet safe and green? Will we drift away in rising waters? What will there be for our sons and daughters? Once we were whaling for oil and bone. Now we find them grounded in seacoast foam. In another country, there's another drought. Ground is drying up and burning out. The world keeps turning, so do we. Can we turn our backs? We should have seen, written in the stars, hidden in the light. Forsaken garden, something ain't right. Get on your high horse and ride, ride, ride. Take us to the other side. Get on your high horse and ride, ride, ride. Take us to the other side. There we have it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I must note that I wrote that song in a little session with Michael Troy, who was a wonderful songwriter, won the contest from Boston to Kerrville and back and forth. But he passed away in 2015. But
Wow.
that song still carries on his legend.
Yeah.
Has it
It's
really
legacy.
been 6 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Troy was,
Probably one of the best
amazing writer.
songwriters in New England.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
so
no,
it's a big loss.
definitely. Well, thank
Yes.
you, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Jan. Really appreciate both of you being with us.
Nice to meet you, Jan.
Thank you.
So much
Nice to
fun.
meet you too.
Yeah,
It's
Yes,
a lot
this
of
was
great
a lot
music.
of fun.
Yeah.
this was great. And next month we have Pat LaManna and Rob Siegel. And we will see on Sunday afternoon what our theme will be for next month.
Yep.
And again,
Cool.
if you've got ideas, feel free sometime between now and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, go in and fill them in the
In the comments.
comments, either Facebook or YouTube, either one, with prompt, and whatever your idea is.
and we'll
if-
go hunt for him on Sunday.
and we'll see what we end up with.
Cool.
So thanks once again, and we are Dan and Faith, and thank you again, Chuck Williams, Jan Sides, and all of you who have been listening live this evening, and who will be listening live going forward. Have a good evening, all.
You too.